the recording. So tomorrow we have seen that how to make one end-to-end framework till this point. Okay, so here we are able to take the screenshot of our failed test case with the help of listener. So what today we will see. So until what we are doing, whatever the test case, we are getting our screenshots here, right? But I want some report generation. So those reports are called extent report. So why we are making that report is that so that whatever be the failure result, so that we can provide that report to our client. So this is the reason we are just creating that extent report. Okay, so today we will see how to make that extent report, and whatever the screenshots we are seeing here, we will inject these two screenshot in our report only, right? So that you can just hand over that report to your client, and that's all. So to make that, let us make one class. So I think I have already made that. So inside that resources package, I have just created one class, right? So this is our class. So inside that I will be writing that extent report code. So before, if you want to work with that extent report, you have to first get this dependency, right? So let me I show you. I have already copied that from that. This is the dependency. If you want to work with the extent report, then you need to first inject that dependency. So where I got that, I got it from here only. If I show you that Maven repository website, so just say extent reports. So I will suggest you to, okay, not this one, again copy this. So I think I am already having that path where I got that, from where I got that dependency. So let me show you. Yeah, so this is the path, I think. Yeah, so copy this path, and if I paste it, okay, so this is the, you can, it is saying a new version is available, so click this. So copy this and paste it in your Eclipse pom.xml file, project pom.xml file. So you, after that you will see like that. So once you will save that, now you can write that extent code here, right? Extent report code here. So let us define one path variable first of all. So why I'm defining that variable is so that I am saying that where I want to make that extent file, that reporting file, which is called extent file. So let us get that. First of all, let me get that project path with the help of this, that first property. Yeah, you can get the path till your project level, user dot directory. That will give you the path. This step will give you the path up to project level, which is this one. After that, inside that project, I want to make one folder first. I will make one folder first. So you can give that name as extent. You can give any name. So let me give this name. And once you will give this name, you can just say what should be your file name, right? So let me say index. So that can be any file name. So that will be an HTML file. So I am writing .html. So I am getting that project path till here. After that, I am creating the folder. So automatically the folder will be created, right? Even if you write like that. And once the folder will be created, a file is made with this name, which is called index.html. Okay. So after that, what we can do, actually, to work with that extent report file, there are two classes. First is this one, Spark Reporter, and that second class is, you can say, so we will see one by one how to form the objects of these two classes and what are the methods which will help us in making that report, extent report. So let me write X here. So this is the class. So let us make the object of this class, then I will tell you what this class will do for us. And I will say you can give any name, object equals to new, give the class name and provide Okay, so import the package. I think the spelling is incorrect. Extend Spark. Okay, so spelling is correct. Incorrect actually. So this is the one. Import the required package. Why it is not coming? Okay. Save this. Sorry. Actually, I am having some. Can you repeat it again? Oh, sorry, sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, when you are speaking, I am getting very low voice. I do not know why. So this is the reason I am facing some issue in listening to you. So okay, so here what you have to provide. So this is the path. So you have to provide this path here. So this object will know. This object will know where you have to where this object has to create the file. So provide that path here. That's it. And after that, uh, there is one method in that object. If I say reporter dot config, reporter dot, why it is not coming, reporter. Okay. Okay, so I think we are not getting this because I'm writing all these inside that class, right? So if you have to work, you have to first create the method. I forgot to create the method. So let me create one reusable method. So that will be called every time when we have to make our extent report, right? So public, you can say, let us make that method as static so that I do not need to create the object for this class for calling that method. So I can give any name extent. You can say, you can give public static, you can say void get, you can say reporting object, you can give any name, it's up to you. So this is my method name, and just provide all that code inside the method, then you will going to get dot. If you provide dot here after, yeah, so this is the method, and inside that there is one method which is called set report name. So click this and say there is one more method, set report name. So I want to give the report name as, suppose, you can give any name. So let me say automation result, that can be any name. So this name will be given to your reporting file, automation report. So first you will give like that, and let me set some more parameters here as well, which is reporter.config, you can say dot. So set document title. So what is the title you want to give? So I want to give the title name as, you can say, you can give any name, framework test result. So that will be your title name, right? So title name is nothing but, suppose if I show you this browser, so this is nothing but the title name. When I you can say place my mouse cursor here, so it is giving me some text. This is the title name of our report. So with this object will help you to set these two. First is that you can set the report name, which is I am setting that automation report, and the second is I am saying that the title should be framework test result. So this will be my title. So there is one more class which I have. So this class will do this thing. Okay, so what it will do, first it will create one file, index.html file, inside that project level, inside that folder, and it will set the file name as automation report, and the title will be this. But here still it do not have any test data, right? So we have to provide all the test case data, whether the test cases are passed or not. So to provide the test data, there is another class object which we will use. So let me create the object of that class, and let me create that outside. Okay, so that we can, once we will create the object of that class, I can return it. So this I want to create the object for that this one. So let me Okay, so again the spelling is wrong. So import the, save it, extend reports. Okay, so this time, okay, so capital R will be here. Okay, so import the package. Okay, so here what I will do, I will say extend equals to new. So I'm just creating the object. Okay, so with the help of new keyword we will create an object of this class, and once we will create object, what I will do, okay, so actually this method is static, so you have to declare this as a static, so this is the reason we are getting error. You cannot use non-static variable inside. So okay, so error gone. Okay, after creating the object, what we have to do, so this will create the object, this will create one empty file, you can say this reporter object will create one empty file with the following two fields. Once it will create, this extent object will listen to all your test case at runtime, and whatever your test case will pass or fail, that extent will report. So as of now, it do not have any knowledge where I have to report all the failure of the test case, or you can see the all the pass, whether the test case is pass or fail. It do not know where in which file I have to publish those results. Okay, so actual file is here in this path. So to give this object the knowledge of, you can say this object, because this object will going to create one empty file, so I will say extend dot, you can say dot attach, yeah, this one. So once you will give like that, what will happen, okay, so you have to provide your reporter object here. So now again I'm saying this will create one empty file index.html in this folder, and once it will create, with the help of this one, I'm attaching this reporter object with this one, so that extent object will also have the knowledge where your file is located. And once you give like that, so you can also set your test name here, right? So if you use this extent, if I want to give my tester name, so I am saying the tester name is Sumit, or you can say the tester name. So who is the tester? As of now I am the tester, so you can give your name. So tester is Sumit, so you can also set that with the help of this object. So this we have to do. Okay, so what I will do, I will call this method at runtime, so that whenever any test case will fail, this method will be called, and our, you can say, that index.html file, which is nothing but the extent report, will be made. So to use this method, what I will do, I will again take the help of listener, just like we did it for the screenshot concept. So here, if I say, I think we are having that listener, I think here. So here we are having that listener class. Okay. So what will happen? First of all, let me get that whatever the object we have created in that file, I want to get the object here, right? So what I can do, I can use, as I made this method static, I can directly call that method with that class name. So in that listener, I will be explaining you in the debug way as well. So how the program flow is working. So as of now, I want to get that, you can say, method. So what is the method here? Yeah, this is the method name. So you can right click on. So what is the error? Get, okay, save it. So I think everything is correct, but why we are getting, so okay, let me do one thing as well. So let me, so this will going to return me one extent object. Okay, so I have not provided the return type, you can say. After that, once everything will be over, I will say just return this extent object, extent. Okay, so change the return type of the method as well. So it will be, this is the return type of the method. So once this object will be returned, I will create one variable of this type, because the return type is extent report. So I will create one extent report here, and let me give extent the name again. You can give any name. Okay, so once we will call this method, I will catch that object here. extent object here in this variable. So error gone, save it. Okay, I think, okay, let me give another name. Actually, I made some mistake, so let me remove this. Remove this, do like that. Once I will catch that, so it is written, it is okay. So we have not saved our project. You can see it is throwing error. It is saying it is not returning anything. Convert word to extent report because I have not saved my file. So save it. Now error will be gone. So this time we are getting that object here. Okay, so what happen when your test case will start? So I have already told you in that previous lecture yesterday that as soon as your test case will start, your control will going to come here, right? So this is what listener provides us. So when your control will come here, I will say to this object, this actually I have already told you in this lecture that this object will be listening to your all the test case. So whether your test case will pass or fail, this object is responsible for creating the result inside your extent report. So copy this. So here I will say whenever your test case will start, I will say extent, that I will say create one test case. Sorry, not test case, create one. You can say dot create, you can use this one, create test. So it will saying just create one test case inside that index.html extent report file. So I want to create my test case with the actual test case name, right? Which means I want to say, suppose this is your, you have one HTML file, or you can say you have one extent report. So whatever the test case name, whatever the test case will pass or fail, I want that test case name inside my file, extent reporting file. So to get the name, okay, so you can give any name, but I want to get the exact test case name at runtime which fail. So to get the test case name, result will have the capability of holding that test case name. So you can just say, just like we did it yesterday, go dot get method dot get method name. So this way, okay, so let me do one thing. I will also write that in the string variable, so that at debug, when I will debug that, I will show you that this is the exact test case name it pulled at the runtime. So string text. Okay, so once you will give this, what will happen? It will create one test case with the whatever the test case will run at the first. It will create, this object will create one test case name inside that index.html file. So once it will create, what will happen? Okay, so we have to, if suppose our test case will pass, okay, one more thing, when you are providing like that, when this line will execute, this line will return one object. Okay, actually this line will return one object. So let me give that object name as test. And what is the type of that object? If I show you, the type of the object will be extent test. So this will be the type of your object. Okay, let me write it again. So import the package. Okay, so package is already imported. Okay, if you do not have that line, just click that and import the required package. So what I mean to say, once this line will execute, okay, this extent report is listening to all the test case, again I am saying, and once this line will execute, it will return one object. So I am catching that object here. So actually this object will provide you some methods. So if your test case will pass, or you can say test success, so I will easily say that test dot, that I am saying that inside my file I will say, I will provide the logs of test cases. Status is passed, you can say status is status dot pass, and I will say just I will say, you can give any comment that test is passed, you can say successfully, whatever you want to say. So likewise, if I come to this on test failure, right? So we have already written that previous code. If the test will fail, I want to take the screenshot every time. Okay, so this is the old code I have written. But if test is fail, I will also say, that if our test case will fail, I will say this is the, you can use this object which is returned by this line, that will just provide some logs into your file. So if you say test.fail, okay, so if I want that, suppose my test case is failed due to some, you can say suppose due to assertion my test case is failed, so I want that whatever be the error came, I want exact the same error in my file. So I can use result dot okay, result dot get throwable. So what this method will do, at a runtime, suppose your test case will fail, so there might, suppose there is one condition actually I want to validate, suppose I want to validate that whether this number is coming, right? So suppose you get some error like we, that test case is unable to verify that whether this 5.0.4 is present or not. So that actual error will be captured in that result variable, and at the runtime I am saying with this object that inside my report get the actual failure log, and that, and you have to just place that in my file, right? So this step, this will do this will be done by this step. So I think it is a little bit confusing at the beginning, but once I will show you in the debug mode, then it will be clear. Okay, so after that there is one more thing. So if I show you, okay, so I think there is one more method as well. Okay, let me do one thing. Actually I want to have use one more method here. So let me again click this refractor, and no, this one. Actually if I expand this on finish, right, I actually I want to get this method as well. Okay, so I think error, there will be no error. Okay, so once our test case will finish, I will just say this is the object, extent object is the one which is listening to all our test case, right? When suppose one test case will run, so whatever happen in the test case, this object will monitor. And once this object, once our test case will be finished, I will come to that block automatically and I will say dot flush. So actually it will stop monitoring your test case now, right? This object will stop monitoring your test case now. If you do not provide this at the end, what will happen, it will never stop listening to your test case, and your report will not be created. So this step is very important. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let us try to run this and check whether we are getting our that index.html file on the left hand side or not. Okay, if not, then we will fix, otherwise we will see that in the debug mode how this code is working. So you can just right click and run as this. So let us check. So I have not made any changes to the code which we have done previously. These are all those were exactly the same test case. One is coronavirus homepage and the second is our demo website. So after that you will see our test case will be finished. Okay, I think so. Let me try to refresh it and see whether. So you can see that this folder. So this is the same folder, I think. If I show you, yeah, where it is. I think inside that, yeah. So this is what is the folder name. This is the folder name. It created automatically. You can see on the left hand side. If I expand this, you will see one this file, right? So let me right click and click on property and just copy this. You will see some report here when you open that in Chrome browser. So paste the path and hit enter. So you can see that some, this is our actual that extent report, right? So here if I show you what we have done, so if you see that report.config.set reporter name automation report. So here automation report is the text present, and here the date is present along with the time. Okay, so this is one thing. And second is the title. If I show you that framework test result is our title, so you can see here that framework test result is the title it has set with the help of this reporter object. Okay, so here I provided one more thing, which is my name, I think. Yeah, I am saying set information, so tester is Sumit. So if you come to the bottom, okay, I think it is here, or might be. If I come down, you can see name is name and value. So tester is Sumit, right? So also we came to know that who is testing this application or the project. So these three things I provided, and one more thing, let me show you. So if you come this, okay, so you can see why this has failed. If I click this, it will going to give me exact same you can say error it received at the runtime, right? So with the help of result dot get throwable, I'm getting this, right? If I do not provide that, then this step, this whole lines of code will not present. So if I come down, so I we already know. Okay, so why it is not going down? Okay, you can listen this, that expected true but found false. So what is this test case? I think Corona homepage, right? So let me show you why that this test case is failed. So this is the test case, I think. Yeah, so because this condition is failing, right? So it is saying this condition failed. So this is the reason. Here it is saying expected true but found false. So this is one test case, and this is our first test case as well. So this has also got failed. Why? Because it is expecting user form but found user form. How? Let me show you again this as well quickly. So this is our second test case, first test case, you can say. So here I provided that condition at the end to fail that test case. So actually it is saying I am expecting this user form like that without a space, but I am getting that user form with space, right? So it has expected this but found this. So this is the reason it failed. So anyways, our report is working correctly, but until here we are not able to see our screenshot here, right? So if I again open my project, so screenshots are present here, right? Which is correct, which there is not an issue. But I want that all my screenshot will be also, suppose this is the screenshot of this particular page. So we want that in our report whatever the screenshot will be attached to that particular test case. So let us try to get the screenshot as well. So to get the screenshot inside that reporting file, okay, then I will show you in the debug mode after that. So let us complete that screenshot code as well. So there is one simple line. So before that, what I will do, let me come here. Okay, so listeners only, again I will come to listener. So come down here. When your test case will fail, then only you are taking the screenshot which are present here, right? So if your test case will pass, no need to take the screenshot. So let me write after that. So this is the method that is helping us to take the screenshot, and this method is present in our, if I show you, in our base class, right? So this is our base class where that method is present. So this method is actually taking the screenshot every time. So what I will do again, if I come here again, that I think here, no, here not, yeah, that listener only. So what I will do, there is one method. So I have already told you that when you will write that line, it will return you one object, test object. So with the help of test object, you have that push, you have just put that status as pass or status as fail, right? So that test object will help us to also paste the screenshot into our, to get the screenshot into our extent report. So how we can do, we will say test. So inside only test failure, I am saying that inside that method I will write test dot, you can say add screen capture from the path. Yeah, you can use yeah, this one. So it is saying give me the path where your screenshot is present. So you can see this is the path, and why we are getting that path? Why? Because in the base class I am saying whatever the screenshot you will take, place those screenshot inside that path. So this is our actual path which is present here, right? Reports hyphen screenshots, inside that I am creating the file. So what I will do, this method will only do the help for us. So I will just say return the destination path, sorry, destination file. Destination file. So this will give me the path. Okay, so this is one path. Change the method return type. We can do this. Okay, once we will, this method will return us. What I will do, again come here. So it is expecting the path, right? So if I copy this whole method from here to here, we have changed the method return type to you can say string. So copy this method and place it here, because after the execution of this method, it will return us the complete path. And once we will get the path, what I will say, on the right hand side I will just say the test case name, right? So whenever you will take the screenshot, earlier we are giving the name like that. So again, whatever with the file, I want to have that test case name on my file, so that I will able to identify. So you can say that I'm again getting the test case name from this line. So just place this, and if I paste it, so what will happen, so you will get one error regarding try catch maybe. So this you can, so let me remove this code is not required anymore. Okay, so if I surround with try catch, save it. Okay, that's it we have to do. So let us check it one more time, and this time we will see that whatever the screenshots you got. Okay, so let me run it again. Okay, oops. Oh, thank god, I should have. Okay, so I think our project is still. Okay, I hope that our test project is not deleted. I think I have written the code here. Okay, I think it is fine. Yeah, no issue. I should be more careful next time. So just run this and let us see whether. Okay, so here you are seeing that. So let me delete that. Okay, so let us see whether we are getting our report generation again, and this time you will also see the screenshot of the particular test case. First test case is executing, it has finished. After that, coronavirus one test case will going to start. So I think execution is finished. Again we are getting to failure, which is no issue in that. So let me refresh. Again one object is created. This is the one. No, sorry, this is the one. Right click property. Okay, again right click and come to property, so that I will be able to know where is my index.html file is located. Copy this and open that again in the Chrome browser. So again open. So this time you can see that how neat the results are present in this report. So this test case got failed, and whatever the screenshot it has taken, right? So this is why this test case is failed, because it is expecting true somewhere but found false. And at what page it got failed, so this is the page screenshot where our test case got failed, right? So likewise, so why, how this name is coming, navigate corona homepage, this is coming from, if I show you, this is coming from this step. If I show you, yeah, so this is the test case name, right? So this is the reason it is pulling that exact test case name at the runtime and put it in the, you can see the name of the screenshot. So likewise, if I click this again, it is, this test case is filled again, and this is our test case name. So I am creating that required file with the same test case name. If I show you the screenshot, so that will be the exact same screenshot. So this is how you can see. Okay, one more thing I will like to show you in that file. If I click this, so it is like a graph, right? So as of now we have failure, but once any of the test case will pass, you will see that green color here as well. So as of now, both the test case are failed. So you are seeing that red mark, okay, red circle. So this is one, you can say, you can see here. Okay, so let us first do one thing. Whatever the code we have written till now. So I will put some debugger and then I will again run that in debug mode so that you will be able to understand that how the program flow is working. Okay, so what I will do, okay, so I think, so put one here and put one at the beginning as well. Fine, put here as well. Okay, no need. So put here as well, here as well. So I think I, okay, so I think this is okay, so let me put here as well. Okay, so I think in the base class we can also put, where is my base class? I think it is here. So this is my base class, and let me put one debugger here in this method as well. Okay, so I have already put. So let us run again, but this time we will run that in. Okay, so one more thing, I think I should have pasted one debugger here as well. Put one debugger, okay, here as well. Okay, now we will run, but this time in debug mode so that we will be able to see how that program flow is working. Okay, so look carefully. So again started. So okay, so why we came here? First of all, you should understand, as of now none of our test case has executed, but as I have told you that as soon as your test case will start, as soon as your test case will start, you will, okay, I think this is, okay, so what I'm saying with why, okay, let me do one thing. Okay, so what I mean to say, if I show you, yeah, this one. So inside the test.xml file, I have provided where my listeners are present, right? So whenever your test case will start or whenever your test case will fail, so as of now the test case is started. So if I show you again listeners, yeah. So first of all, before executing any test case, your control will come here inside that class. And suppose this, it has executed this one, and now it came here, here. So this is our method. So this is the reason you are seeing that we stopped here, right? So first of all, it will create one object of that class. Okay, so in this path, it will create one index.html file. Okay, and inside that file, it will set the report name as automation report. So whatever you are seeing here, it will set automation report is set. Okay, but as you assume as of now your file is empty because we are not providing any test case here as of now, and it will set the title as well. By executing this, it will set the title. So what is the title? Again, I am saying this is the title it will set at the runtime. Again, it will get the object of that extend report class, and with the help of this one, I am saying attach that reporter object to this object extent one, so that extent object will be able to know where our test case is present, and once it will know, I am saying set the tester name as Sumit. So this step will set the tester name. Okay, so it is taking some time, so let us wait. Okay, so once it will set, in the next step I'm saying that return this extent object. So after returning it, so you came again here, right? This step is executed. Okay, so as of now you can say it do not have any life. So once I click this, I think I will be able to show you. Okay, so you can say once I, this will going to have life, so not this one, this one. So this now have the life, and once if I invoke it again, I think we should go inside that. Let us see. Okay, so I think it is going somewhere else as of now, so let us not go in very depth. So these are the methods that are running behind that. So let us, I think we should come to that on test start. So let us again click. Okay, so okay, why it is saying this? Okay, let me do one thing. Okay, let me check whether it is running correct or not. I think it will run correct. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me debug it again. Debug it again. Okay, so as of now we are here again. So this time I will just click on this resume button, right? So it will just stop where it will find the next debugger. So click this. Okay, so we came to this one as of now. So I think okay. So again, if I do like that, so I think this time we should go to that on test start method of listener because our test case is just starting. Okay, so we do not came, or should we come? Okay, so let us wait when it will come. Okay, so I think we came. Okay, you can see. So as soon as your first test case started to run, okay, so as of now it do not have filled the username and password, right? So test case is stopped. So once it will stop, we will come to that this method result. So what is your test case name? I think your test case name is that I think it is uh, this is the one, right? Login homepage is the test case which is executed, and once I will say this step over, you will see the test case name, login page test, which is our same test case name which is provided here, right? So it will fetch the test case name, and after that I'm saying that create one. You can say I'm getting this name, so this line is same. I'm saying create one test case inside my index HTML file with this name, right? So it will create. After that, whatever the object it will return us, I am catching it in my test object. So you can say it will have some life. Okay. So after that, I think our test case is going to run as usual. And one more thing, when our test case will fail, when our test case, okay, so let me put one more debugger here. When our test case will fail, we are going to come to this block, right? This is the one block. So let us check whether we are coming here or not. So let me resume my test case. You will see. Okay, so there is some more debugger here at this point. So let us. Okay, so it is executing my test case. As of now, it will fail in this step, right? So until here as well, my test case is not getting failed, but now it will fail, and we will come to that listener method. So you can say we come to this test failure. So whatever the error you got, that will be retrieved with the help of this step. So this will retrieve the error and will paste the error into our actual extent report file. So this step will do that, and after that it has placed the required error in our index.html file. So here what I am doing, just I am getting that driver object as I have explained you earlier in this lecture only. Okay, sorry, it was yesterday's lecture. So I am just fetching that driver field of the failed test case. So I will fetch the object, and after that what I will do, I am saying get me the test case which is failed. So which test case is failed? Which is login test case. Login page test is the failed one, and you can see here what I am trying to do. It will first give me where our screenshot is present. So if I show you, execute this, it will take you to your base file because I have put one debugger here. So if you do like that, okay, so it will take the screenshot automatically. It will take the screenshot. So let us wait. I think I have moved my mouse, so I think I have to do it again or not. I'm not sure. So I think it has already taken. So we can come here. Okay, fine. A screenshot is present here. Okay. After a screenshot will be taken, this is the destination file I am saying where you have to paste my screenshot. So this destination path I am returning from this method. It will return me the path, and it will place whole path here, right? Once it will place the path, with the help of this method I am placing my screenshot from this path to to my, you can say, extent report file, and this is going to be the screenshot file name, login page test. So we are getting, if I show you, this is our name, right? So this is the reason you are seeing it here, because I'm fetching the exact test case name which got failed. So execute, then we will not go inside that block because no exception occur. After that, once your test case will over, again I'm showing you, let me tell you, Once your test case will finish, I will come to this part. So see here, if I execute this. Okay, so as of now, I think, okay, so I think I should have come. So I think it has not showed us, but it has already gone, right? I think I have to use exactly at least two lines so that it will go here, right? So, but let me do one thing. Let me, okay, if I change that at runtime, it will not allow me. So I think I have put one debugger here. Okay, so let me run that second one as well. So again, the second test case started to run. What I mean to say, we have done with our first test case, but second test case started to run. So again, we come to this on test start, and if you see, this is the Corona Navigate Corona homepage test case class file name. So execute this again. It will create one. You can say, what is this? It will create one test case inside my index.html file with this name. So it will create this test case. So how it will create, let me show you. This is the test case it has created, right? Assume, not assume, it is the one it will create, right? So after that, what I will do, again, let me come to next step. Okay, after that, so okay, let me click this resume. So I think our test case will run now. Okay, so again, it is coming to that test case. It will have to identify the test case. So after that, here it will fail, right? Once it will fail, we will come to on test failure, right? So okay, so let me click this resume. So again, you can say that this test case got failed again. Why test failed? You know the reason. So again, I'm saying test.fail. Whatever the test case got failed in that file, whatever the error you got, so whatever the error you got, place it here. So this error it will place, right? It will place in my file. And once I will click this, again, I am getting that driver object of the required file test case. And here, if I come down, so this is my test case name, failed one. So this is my actual test case name, right? So it will place that test case name here, and once I will take the screenshot, that screenshot will come here. A screenshot will come here with this name, because I am passing this name, actual test case name, in this variable, right? With the help of result dot get method dot get name. And after that, what will happen? Let us try to run it. It will take the screenshot. So if I again click this, I think it has taken, and it will come to the next line. Okay, so again, if I click this, so I think this time you should come to flush method, I think. You can say that. Okay, so what happened, actually, I have done a mistake. So suppose if you have 100 test case, right? So this extent object will, because I want my 100 test case in that extent file. So once all your test case will over, we will come to this block, which means all our test cases got finished, and we do not have any new test case. So when we will come to this, it will just say that extent object, that you do not have to listen anymore, and just create the required file, or you can say just consolidate all the required files. So click this. After that, I think we are done. Okay, so it is taking some time, so let us wait. Okay, so it has called this method, and after that our test case execution will be finished. So this is how. So here also you will get the exact same file. So let me do one thing. So let me not fail one of the test case. So this is the one. Actually, I want my that all my test case will, this test case should pass. So let me not write that line. So I do not want to fail this line. So provide double slash. So I am commenting this. Okay, so let me run this. This time you will see, for this test case, no screenshot will be present, because this test case is not failing. So let us check. So this method, this time this test case will not fail. So you will not going to see the screenshot inside your index.html file. So let me open this. So once terminated will come here, I will just refresh my project and see that index HTML file. So so pass one, failure one, you can see. Refresh this. This is the properties. Again hit enter. You can see this time I have commented the line, so this test case do not fail, and whatever the comment you are seeing here, I am getting that comment from here. If I show you, so this is the comment I provided. If your test case will pass, mark the test case as pass and provide this comment. So this is the same comment you can see present here, right? So this test case is passed, so no screenshot is present. Because why no screenshot is present? Because we do not come to this block, because our test case will not fail, is not failed. But if I talk about the second one, it again got failed because due to the assertion. So you are seeing that screenshot here, right? And if you see that dashboard here, so this time 50-50 is the case, one failure and one pass. So this is the green one is for pass one, and that red one is for failure. So this is how you can work with the extent report. So you can see here as well that test passed one and test failed one. So I hope it is clear to everyone that how to generate that extent report and work with that. Okay, so likewise, if I what I will do, if I so this is a text, it is failing, right? So if I comment this line as well, so how our extent report will look like, let me show you. So run is this. Again, this time none of the test case will fail. This will also pass. Okay, total test case passed to failure 0. So refresh this. If I refresh my project, actually it will override the existing file. So it will override my index.html and it will create one new one. So this time you will get 100% result. You can see this time all the test cases are passed. No screenshot is present because all the test cases are passed. So this is how you can work with the extent report. So till now, so this is the major part we have covered in this, that how to place the screenshot here with our report, and you can hand over this report to your client, so that client will be able to see that what are the total test case failed. So as of now we have only 2 test case for the demo purpose, but in the real time you can have 100 or you can say 500 test case here. Okay, no issue. So let us see one more topic here, which is very important from the automation point of view. So till now, if I show you, this is I want to run, suppose if I want to run my project from the Maven. So if I let me close, okay, not close this. So let me first come to that path where my project is present. So this is the path where my project is present. Okay, so if I come to command prompt, and I think this is the same path. No, I think this is not the same path. So let me come to that path first. Okay, actually I want to come to my project path. So we come, and after that, if I just say Maven test, okay, so it will going to just invoke my all the required test cases, because in the pom.xml file I am using this plugin. This is the plugin I am using, and inside that plugin I am providing this test.xml file. So if I just provide this command Maven test, it will just going to invoke my test.xml. So that test.xml will have my 2 test case. So if I click this, if I remove this, okay, let us suppose if you remove this, so the same thing will going to work with the Maven as well, but the mode of triggering the test case is different. Rest of the things will remain the same. If I do like that, Maven test, so it will going to run my test.xml file and it will run my two test case. So let us wait whether that this time reports are created or not. It will create, no issue. Yes, but let us see. Okay, so I think test cases are finished. Here you will see also the result as pass. Test run to total count of failure is 0. So test cases are passed. If I refresh my project again, you will see. So as of now, no reporting folder is present. But once I refresh it, you can see again this folder got created. This is the same file path. So copy this. Again, you will find the same result, which is 100% pass. So you can also trigger your test case with the Maven, no issue. So both the test cases are passed, and here again pass, test case to pass. So but whatever the thing we have done till now, this part, if I want to run Maven test, I have to again come to my test, this one, command prompt, and type this. So this is again a manual step. I do not want to type anything, right? So by the time I come to office at 10 a.m. in the morning, automatically I want that all my test cases should be triggered. So to do that, we will going to see the concept of Jenkins now. We can see that what I will do, whatever the framework we have developed till now, I will give that project to Jenkins, and Jenkins will automatically going to trigger all my test case. I do not have to write a single line of code. Okay, so let us see that Jenkins one. So before working with the Jenkins, so I am already having that set up here. If I show you, so first of all you have to download this var file, right? So okay, so before starting with the Jenkins, so let me tell you one scenario. Suppose you have 100 test cases which run on a daily basis. So you want that by the time you will reach office, you want that 100 test cases to be triggered automatically, right? So suppose your test case will take about 2 to 3 hours of time. So will you going to get up every day at 5 a.m. in the morning, and just you have to log into your company domain, and then you will just come to that by connecting to your company VPN, you will come to that command prompt and write that every day. So this is not a good thing, right? So you want that I will set some criteria. You can say I will define one time, that every time when the 4 a.m. will you can say when the clock shows 4 a.m. in the morning, every time automatically all the 100 test cases should trigger, and once they trigger I will just see the result. So if you want to do anything like this, then Jenkins will help us in that. So see here, so before working with the Jenkins, let us download one file, which is this file. So click this, you can click this, and here if I come down, so you can download this one, right? So this is the one we are interested on as of now. So you can download this file. So click this, left click it, and one file will start downloading, right? So this is the file it will download. So as of now I'm already having that file. So let me cancel it and let me show you where this file is present. So click on downloads. So this is the file, it is already, I'm already having it. So once you will find the path, copy click on property and see where this file is present. So this file is present here. So if you want to install that Jenkins in your machine, so let me open another one. Okay, let me go here only. CD. First you have to come to that. Let me open another. Okay, so that file is present inside my downloads directory. So change the path. So we come to that folder. After that you have to write this line, you have to just hit that command. So this we have done. First we have to come to our desired path where our jar file is present and hit the below command. So copy this, or let me write it here, no issue. So I will write java hyphen jar jenkins dot var. So this is my file name with the extension. This is the actual file name, right? It can be different. So after that you have to provide one space and write http port equals to. So this is the unique number, you can say, where your Jenkins will be listening. So as of now, let me define it as 8080. So once you will hit this command, this one, it will start downloading the Jenkins in your machine, because this file will be extracted, right, if you provide like that. So hit enter, hit enter. Okay, so I have written that vara, not var. So correct the mistake here. So this is var, not vara. Okay, hit enter. So it is saying that I'm running this file and whatever the steps it will do. So it is installing. So I think, so I'm already having the Jenkins in my machine, so it will be little bit faster. But once you install it, it will take around 5 to 10 minutes. So here you will see, once all the setup will be successfully done, I will see one message saying that Jenkins is fully up and running. So let us see, let us wait for that message to come. Okay, so it is taking more time. So let us wait. Okay, let me run it again. It should not have taken that much time. Okay, so it is started. Come down and let me show you that message that Jenkins is fully up and running. So come down. Okay, so you can see this message, Jenkins is fully up and running. So once you will see this message, so on what port you have provided that, the port number I have provided is 8080, right? So once you will see that message, you can just say, if you want to access is localhost 8080, right? As I have defined that port number is 8080. So this is the path where you can access that Jenkins one. So it will take some time. So here I am getting that directly, and it will ask you for the username and password. Okay, because I am already having it. So but once you will run it for the first time in your machine, you will get window like that. So once you will run the setup, it will say Jenkins initial setup is required, an admin user has been created and a password generated. So whatever the long password you are seeing here in this line, this is your you can say password, so that you can, with the help of this password, you can set your actual password. So you can also get the password from this file as well. You will get when you will run that setup for the first time. Once you copy this long password, and once you will type localhost 8080, you will not going to directly get this window, right? You will going to get this window. Let me show you. I have taken the screenshot. So once you will hit localhost 8080, you will going to get this window. So here it will just say provide the password which you received in the command prompt. So paste that long password and hit on continue button. So after that it will ask you to customize the Jenkins. So go with the default one, install suggested plugin, and once you click this, you will get window like that. If I show you, it will one by one, it will start all the files which are required to run our project from the Jenkins. Once it will download, now this screen will come, right? So it will ask you to, so whatever the password and username I have created, it is asking me now So you can give username and the password, which whatever you like, full name and the email. After providing, just you have to click on save and continue, and after that you have to just click on save and finish, right? You do not have to do anything here. Click on save and finish. Then that you will be going to navigate to this page after that. So this is how I have already created one file, and also I will share that file with you, so that when you will install Jenkins you will not face any issue. So let me, after hitting that localhost 8080, let me type the username and the password which I have created. So this is my password, and click on sign in. So once you will click this, it will take you to your Jenkins home. So it will take some time, so let us wait. So one more thing, if you will not see this message in your command prompt, okay, you do not have to, also you can say, if I close this, my Jenkins, I will going to get one error here that page is not found. So make sure that you do not close this command prompt. Okay, so okay, let me open that in another browser, sorry, tab. Let me write it again. Okay, so it has already logged in with the earlier one. So after giving the password and username, you will going to get to that page. So here, before working with the Maven, okay, before providing our project to this tool, what I will do, I will provide some information to the Jenkins. So I will provide two information to the Jenkins. First is where my Java is located in my machine, and the second is where is my Maven present in my machine. So click this manage Jenkins. So we will be discussing the points whatever are present here one by one, but let us set up the required one. So you can click this global tool configuration. Here I will provide the path to my Java JDK and the Maven. So it is taking, okay, so after that, okay, click this. Okay, once you will come here, you have to click this, and here I have already set up some path. If you see this, so this is the path where my JDK is present, right? So you have to provide the same path, just like you have done in the first lecture of Selenium, that system variable, right? So this is the one, and you can provide any name here. So I have provided this name, this last name here. So you have to provide this path, and if you come down, this is the Maven installation. So I want to also say where my Maven project is present. Maven is present. Okay, so when you are working with the Maven for the first time, you have downloaded the Maven. So here is the path where my Maven is present. I provided that path in my Jenkins directory, and here you can give any name. So I have just given that last name, right? So once you will give that, just you have to click on save. So this way that your you can say Jenkins will have the knowledge of where your Java and the you can say Java and your Maven is present. Okay, so to work with this Jenkins, what I have to do, let us create one job. So here, suppose you have 10 test case, right? So for those 10 test case, I will create one job, and once I will run that one job, all the test case will trigger. Okay, so here we can say in the Jenkins terminology as a job, right? So let me create one job. So click on this, and after that you can say Maven job, or you can give any name. It's up to you. So let me go with this one. Once you give this, click this freestyle project and click on OK. That will going to create you a one job. So it will ask you for some path to your project. So it is taking some time. So till then, what I will do, let me show you one thing. So let me see where my project is present. So copy this. So okay, so once you will download that Jenkins in your machine, come to that users, come to your whatever with the name in your machine. Here, once you will download this Jenkins in your machine, you will see one folder here, .jenkins, right? So you will get that when you will install Jenkins in your machine. So okay, so I think it is okay. So let me explain you one thing. What I mean to say, once you will download the Jenkins in your machine, you are going to see that okay, not this one, that .jenkins folder. Okay, inside that folder, what you do, so whatever the project you made, suppose as of now, suppose my project, if I show you, this is my actual project, right? So what I did, whatever the project I will made, I will just place my project inside that folder. Which one? Local disk. Whatever the project I will make, when I'm saying, I will just place that. Uh, this is the project, right? So I've already done before the lecture. So what I mean to say, whatever the project you will create, just paste that project inside that .jenkins folder. Why we are doing that? So that Jenkins will be able to understand where our project is located in our machine, and once it will be able to identify, what I will do, so see here, so this step is mandatory, otherwise your code will not work, it will fail. So once you will do like that, here if you come down, it is asking us some you can say path. Click on advanced, so you can use this, use custom workspace I have to provide. So if I show you, I think, okay, not here, so not this one. So this is my actual project, right, on which I am working. If I open this is the project, right? So you can see that this is the complete path, this is the complete path where my pom.xml is present. Okay, so copy this complete path and paste it here. You can do in two way. Let me show you both the way. So you can provide that complete path so that your, you can say, your Jenkins will be able to understand that this is the complete path of your project where your pom.xml file is present. You can do like that, or you can do one thing as well. If you do not provide the path till here, you can just write dollar Jenkins home. Why I'm writing that? That will going to, okay, or you have to change this as well. If you provide like that, first of all, by reading this, Jenkins will automatically come to the path where our Jenkins is present, right? So I think it is sorry, uh, it is present here, I think, yeah. So it will come to this path. So we come here with the help of, you can say, with the help of this step, automatically it will come. And after that I'm providing these two. Why I'm providing these two? Because once you will come to this Jenkins one, first you have to go inside that, and after that you have to go inside that, so that, because this is the path where your XML is present, right? So this is the path. So you can provide like that, and once you will provide like that, come down and okay, so here I want to build the, you can say, build in the sense I want to trigger my test case. So how I want to trigger my test case? If I show you, I want to invoke my test case with the help of maven command. So here again maven will going to help us. So you can say invoke top level maven target. So if I click this, so whatever the name I have provided in the setup path, right, I hope you are able to see. So this is the name I have given, and inside that, what is the goal? So if I want to run my test in XML, how we used to do, I will just type maven test. So I hope you remember that if I want to trigger all my test cases, so I have just provided that command in my command prompt. So here again I will do the same thing, because I am working with the maven, so I will just say maven test. But here, okay, maven test, but here you can skip this part. Jenkins will automatically recognize, so remove this. So if you provide this one, what will happen? Let me, I think I have already provided all the required one. So let me save this. So you will see one job is created for you. So this is the maven job, right? Whatever the job it will be. So when you will click this builder now, what will happen? Let me tell you what will happen when you click this builder now. It will first identify where your project is located, where your pom.xml file is present. So with the help of this step, it will identify where your project pom.xml is located. Once it will identify, it will it will hit this command maven test. So as of now maven is not present because Jenkins will automatically identify, right? So you do not have to provide maven here. After that, what will happen? With the help of this one, test one, it will come to that pom.xml file of the project, and here it will find that plugin. So inside that plugin, I have already told that you have to execute this file. So this way it will execute this, trigger this file, and all our test case will execute. So let us see as well whether it is working correctly or not. So again save. We do not have made any changes. Just you have to click this build now, and if I show you, one build will you can say one job will be triggered. So if I open this, you can open this, no issue, right? So if I show you the output, console output, here you can see the all the outputs, just like in the command prompt, all the outputs will be listed here. So you can say that it has started to run tests. So still we have not, you can say it will run our first test case. So it, I think, yeah, it is the demo website. Okay, after that it will run my second test case. So what is the one? I think it is coronavirus homepage. Yeah, here you can find the total cases. So both the test cases will pass now because I am not filling them, because I have commented that assertion line, so it will pass. So it is taking some time, so let us wait. So you can see after that you will see test run to failure 0. Test finished, you can say test run to failure 0, and moreover automatically this file will also going to be created, right? So even if I remove that, it will going to create again, because we are just changing the way we are triggering our test case, right? We are not making any code changes here, right? So once our all the test case will trigger, again that file will going to generate. So this is how you can work with Jenkins. But again, so you can say finish success. If you get failure here, then you will see some fail message here, right? But as of now all the test cases are passed. And if I show you, I think, so if I open this, so status, I think, actually I wanted to show something, I'm not finding it here. So if I click this, no. Okay, if I will get that what I wanted to show, then I will show you. Okay, so this is how you can do. But here, as you see that again, this is a manual step, right? I have to again click that. So I do not want that. If I want my test cases to be run at 4 a.m. in the morning, I am not going to open my company laptop and click this build now every time, right? Where it is? Yeah, here it is. So again, this is a manual step. So actually we have done that step so that we will be able to identify that how to create one job for the project. So to automate this as well, right? We do not want to click at this build now at 4 a.m. in the morning. To automate this as well, let me click to configure. Okay, so here you will find that how can you build your test case automatically. So you can see that this is the one. Click this. Okay, so here you have to provide something. So let me show you. I have already provided. Okay, so okay, so Jenkins will use one expression. Okay, so you have to provide this that expression. So whatever the first number you will see here, it will be in our format, right? 24-hour format. Sorry, it will be minutes. So whatever the minutes, like if I want to trigger my test cases at 7:55 p.m. So 55 will come here, right? 7:55 p.m. 55 will come here, and after that these are the 24-hour format. So if I want to trigger all my test cases, so what is the time? I think, yeah, the time is 6:20. So if I want to run all my test cases at 6:30, you can assume 6:30, I will just provide 18 here, right? If you provide 6 here, that will be treated as AM in the 24-hour format. But as of now, I want to trigger in PM, so I will write 18, which stands for 6. So after that, for the remaining, you can provide star. So what that star mean, if I tell you, here what this step is saying, if I provide like that, if I provide this, copy this whole from here to here, if I write that inside this box, what that mean, that I'm saying, so 18 stands for 6, okay, PM. So I want all my test cases to run 6 p.m. at, you can say, 6:55 p.m., right? So this is minutes, this is your hour. So here the hour is okay, here 18 is 6, so 6:55, I want all my test cases to run at 6:55 p.m. And what are those remaining 3 star? If I show you, it is saying what is the month 1 to 31, what is the date you want to choose. So I'm saying every day, right? I want all my test cases to trigger at every day of the month. So this is the reason I'm giving a star. So when automatically every day, when this time 6:55 p.m. will be the time in the clock, automatically Jenkins will trigger your test cases. Okay, so again, if I consider the next this one, this is your month. So I want all my test cases to run every day. This is saying every day of the month, and I'm saying every month. So this will going to trigger all my test cases, right, like that. For the next one is, well, day week, so I'm saying just a star, which means you can say every day, every month of the year I want to trigger all my test cases at 6:55 p.m. So if I provide like that here as well, so let us not provide 6:55 p.m. because it will take more time. So as of now 6:22 p.m. is the time. So let us give 6:24. So let me write 24 minute. 18 stands for 6. So let me save this. Okay, I think we can provide 23. Okay, let me provide 24. So let us wait. So this time I will not going to click this build, right? Here is my mouse and you can see the time. So let us wait for 6:24 to hit the clock. So let us wait. Okay, I should have provided 23. We would have done our task very quickly, but let us wait. You can also configure that if you want. But by the time I will configure, I think the 6:23 will already be the time in the clock. So 6:23, and after 1 minute I will not click this, but you will see that automatically with the two number one job will be triggered automatically, right? So let us wait. So by doing that, every time we do not have to come to we do not have to wake up early in the morning and click that build now. Automatically Jenkins will do that for you. So this is how we have also created automation here as well. So we do not have to do manual work. So after I think 30 seconds more, it will automatically going to run our test case, which is nothing but the job in terms of Jenkins.
One thing like when we are creating the job for Maven, then there are two, three types of project is showing there. So
Where
what's the use of that? Like you have selected free project and pipeline is something show.
so
So
whatever
how to use?
those pipelines you are seeing, see Jenkins topic is itself so big, right? It will require a separate course for
Yes,
that.
yes.
But from the testing point of view, we are covering that whatever is required for testing. So you can give it go with that freestyle, right? So you can see that automatically test triggered at second number. I have not clicked that build now. So I have set that 624. So automatically at 624 it will trigger all your test case. So you can see browser is opened.
Oh,
So this is the advantage you can get, right? So moreover, suppose your client want to run your test case, right? Actually client come to you and client says that today I will run the test case. So will you going to provide the client that Eclipse? So client do not know anything about Java and Eclipse at all, right? But if I say to the client that this is the path, I will say to the client that whatever the project you want to trigger, just this is the path and click on build now. So it will be more readable for the client because he will say yes, so this step will build my project, or you can say trigger my test case. So this is the reason why we should use Jenkins. So it has automatically run. So let me show you one thing. You can see again console output again, two test case pass and fail, right? So as it's not all the two test case pass, so let me fail those two test case again. So let me do one thing, let me remove this as well. You will see automatically what is the error. Delete that. Why I'm deleting? So that you will be able to see whether we are getting this folder generated again or not. So let me make some changes uh, in that. So here is the one where we are having that. So let me uncomment so that it will fail this time. Uncomment this and uncomment this. So you can have many test cases here. So save it. So this time if I run, even if you close your Eclipse, then only it will work. But I want to work that, so I'm opening it. You can also close it, then also it will work fine, no issue. So you do not have to open your Eclipse every time. So where is the one? Yeah. If I come here again, let me set the time. So let you can click this configure to configure your Maven job which you have created. If you want to configure, you can do that. So you can have many modifications here, right? So as of now I am showing with this one. So I want to run my test cases at 6:27 p.m. So let me save it quickly. Save it. So you will see automatically your test case will run at 6:27 p.m. and this time we are going to see that report generation, right? Here that report I have deleted, right? So these are the screenshot one. Report is not present. So automatically your old test cases will run in a similar way. You can see that automatically it has triggered the test cases. So it has triggered the, if I show you, this is the first, it will fail because I am failing that with the help of assertion. Okay, so let me show you the output in parallel as well. So click this console output. So here you will see whatever the logs are generated. What happened? Anyone have any idea how to fix this issue? Why I have done? So you can say that this time test run to failure 2, right? Because I am failing all those two test case. So I don't know why I am getting that window like that. How I can. Okay, so after the execution of the test case, what we will see if I refresh my, okay, so I'm not able to open. Okay, so let me do one thing. Wait for a few minutes. Let me. Okay, so give me 5 minutes. Okay, let me. What is the error issue here?
So it's not visible or what is it?
Sorry. Okay, wait. Control Windows F4. If I control Windows. Okay, let me close this. So once your
Otherwise, still you can go to task manager and you can find
okay, let me, yeah, we can do that. Let us check. Here I am getting the task manager here as well. I am not able to access it. It also got stuck here. So I think I have, okay, let me do one thing. So if I click close this. So how can I,
otherwise click Alt F4.
sorry,
Alt F4.
Alt F4.
Alt F4.
Oh, thanks. Okay, so anyways, thank you again. So finally we come out of that. So I don't know what key I pressed. So once you will, I think I have closed the Jenkins. So anyways, I hope you are able to see that we are able to execute our test case. So as of now, no report is present here, right? But once I will refresh again, you will see all our test case got failed. So refresh this. You can see this is the report, action report. Again, this time all the test case will fail. So you are going to see the screenshot now. So if I open this here, you can see this is the failed test case, right? So all those test cases I have.
I think, are you sharing anything or your screen is not ready?
Oh, sorry. Okay, let me share it again. Thanks for reminding. So confirm once when you will be able to share my screen.
Yes, I am able to.
Okay, so what I mean to say, okay, so let me do one thing. Let me run again. Open Jenkins again. Open command prompt again. So let me come to that path. What is the path where my Jenkins file is present in that download one? So again, let me run the Jenkins. I have closed the connection. So come to command prompt and cd.dot. Change the directory to, okay, java hyphen jar jenkins dot var hyphen http port 8080. So it will take some time to run my Jenkins. And so if I show you at localhost, as of now it will not work because Jenkins is not running. Once it will run, we will be redirected to our home page. Okay, so after that Jenkins is fully up and running. So again it will ask. So let me submit. So let me first delete that file again, so that you will be able to see whether we are going to get that file when I will trigger my test case from the Jenkins. So why it is not opening up? Okay. So it has opened. So what I will do again, let me trigger that automatically for the last time. So if I, sorry, not this, manage not one. So if I show you this job, so this is the one we have created. If I configure that, suppose I want to trigger all my test cases at 6:39 p.m. So how we can do? Okay, so it is taking the time again. So let us wait. So yeah, here. So I want to trigger all my test cases at 6:38. You can see 38. Save it. So automatically you will see all your test cases will run here. So 6 so 6:38 is the time. Okay, so it should trigger. So let us wait for a few minutes for that minute as to over. In between it should trigger. Okay, I should have given that 6:39 maybe. Okay, let me wait. Okay, let me configure it again. So let us give the time to 6:40. I think we have made some mistake. So give that 6:40. Provide one space and save. So this time it should run. So it has automatically triggered. You can see the fourth job. So you can see that browser is triggered. So as of now, no report is present. You can see, right? No report file is present. But once I will trigger, so this time I'm automatically triggering my test cases from the Jenkins. So this is the second browser. It will close the browser automatically as well. So test is completed. If I show you in the output of Jenkins, it is still running. So if I show you the console output, so you are seeing red here because it got failed, right? So you will see the blue icon when that all the test cases will pass, but here all the two test cases are failed, right? So failure 2. So this is the reason, and moreover, whatever the test cases are failed, it is saying the reason. So this is the error. So expected this user form but found this, and the second one is also failed. So once it will fail, let us check whether at the project level whether our report is generated or not. So refresh it. You can see this is the folder it generated, and if I right click and click on property and try to open that, you can hit that URL. So this time all the screenshot will be attached. Automatically the screenshots will be attached. So this is how you can use Jenkins as well to trigger your test cases if you want to do that all the stuff automatically. So I hope it is clear to everyone. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, Sumit.
Okay, so this is how you can make one end-to-end framework. So you can try it for yourself. So I have already uploaded the video of yesterday's framework part, and will upload the framework lecture part today as well. So you can make any modifications into that framework, that how to take the screenshot. It's up to you, right? So I have just shown you that how to you can design one end-to-end framework. So there is one more topic I think left, which is GitHub. So we will be seeing that in the next week. So I think the next week will be your last class, because I think all the topics I've covered, and then Vandan will going to discuss one live project, right? So how you will, once you will design the framework, after that you can work on that project. So Vandan will going to discuss that maybe. So GitHub is also going to be taught by Vandan. So next week we will see. So as of now, till then you can practice that framework from the scratch. Okay, is it clear, Mohit and Swati? Sorry. Yeah, this one I will share after the class, or okay, in that classroom. Okay. So thank you everyone for attending today's session. Sorry. Yeah, we will see that in the next week, right? I actually, because actually I'm having 2 hour class after that batch again for that next batch. So we will see that Vandan will be the one who will teach that most probably, right?
Thank you,
Okay.
Sumit.
Yeah. Thank you, Mohit. Thank you everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah. So stopping the recording.